It is almost 2025, and the transfer portal for Auburn is closed. Welcome into a brand new Village Vice. He is Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. This show, this episode, this gathering is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. 2 promo codes, guys. Take advantage of these for another day or two. I would be shocked if they didn't change around the beginning of the year. So take advantage today. In the casino, a 300% sign-up bonus with the promo code TNR Casino. TNR Casino, 300% sign-up bonus there. In the sportsbook, a 50% sign-up bonus using the promo code Next Round, all with our friends at MyBookie.ag. All right, Zach, I guess technically, I mean, as we talk on a Monday afternoon, if somebody filed paperwork on Saturday and it takes 48 hours to go through, but I feel like we would know if something like that was coming. So it looks like the portal is closed, and what is for this portal period.
Yeah, at least closed for Auburn, which is, what this show cares about. And I do think there were some players that it came down to the wire for, but Auburn took care of business, and this coaching staff made it very clear the guys that are still on this roster, it sounds like they've been taken care of and discussed and had several one-on-one conversations, and everybody's ready to move into 2025 or at least through the spring practices, and everybody's saying, okay, let's keep this thing going. Let's keep hopefully trending in the right direction long term. So you got to love that.
Yeah. All right. Given what left and what came in to this point, I think last week we talked about where maybe was what was the strongest portal haul.
Yeah.
What do you think is the overall strongest position on the team, given portal comings and goings and recruiting and just everything as it stands here as we set to close out 2024?
Yeah.
What's the strongest position for the 25 Auburn Tigers?
You got to say wide receiver. I think you have to. I think you've got to go with Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons and Perry Thompson and Horatio Fields. Yeah, I think it's wide receiver. Then I would say corner is second, just because the top is so strong.
Yeah, I think I'd put corner at number 1, just because of, man, you have so much depth there. Now that's assuming that Champ Anthony and Tyler Scott come back and are healthy. If those, man, you're
sure.
3 deep easy at corner. So I put, and
yeah, and you probably need more. Like, I bet they add another corner in the spring window. That would be my guess. Like, I don't think they're deep enough at corner. And I love our top end, but I don't think they're deep enough at corner. So that's why I have them at 2, because the depth is there at wide receiver.
Okay. All right. So give me your corner depth chart to start the year, assuming everybody's healthy. Give me your starters and backups. Just the first 2 waves, starters and backups.
Assuming Champ Anthony is healthy, I think in no particular order, your top 3 are Jay Crawford, Kayan Lee, and Champ Anthony.
Okay.
And I think right now your 4th one would be Ryan Strader, the transfer.
So you'd put him above a Tyler Scott. And granted, we didn't get to see Tyler last year.
I don't think we know anything about Tyler Scott.
Okay. And Kinsley Ludor-Faustin played a pretty good bit during the year. He didn't get the high acclaim or the praise that Jay Crawford got.
Right. Yeah, I would put him in that next tier. Yeah.
And then you got the freshmen. You got Blake Woodby. You got Devin Williams, Donovan Starr.
And Donovan Starr and Blake Woodby, they're going to have a chance to play.
Yeah.
Sure. They're good.
So I think with that in mind, you're a solid 3 deep there, even if a couple of them are freshmen. I like the offensive line too, coming out of the portal, particularly because we're assuming now Too Tall Miller is going to return, and if that happens, now Too Tall's back, and Dylan Wade is back, and you just didn't lose the guys that are going to play and have an impact, presumably.
Yeah.
And could have left. Like, it just, you're strong there. Like the number of guys that did stay at the wide receiver position and on the offensive line, I think that's strong for Auburn. I think that says a lot too.
Yeah, and they've got to survive the spring window, of course, and I think how they manage spring is going to be super interesting.
Yeah,
with the receivers and the offensive line, because they have to sell to all of these guys and prove to all of these guys you've got a chance to play and to start, which is interesting, and that could be a conversation for another day. But yeah, I mean, everybody that was kind of an Auburn naysayer or a Hugh Freeze hater all season was like, yeah, well, you've got, all of this young talent and this top recruiting class, but just wait. If you keep losing and you're not successful, you're going to lose it all. Well, Auburn lost a few guys in the recruiting class, but solidly in the top 10.
Yeah.
And then the heralded class of 2024 that kind of got this thing going, you lost TJ Lindsey, which is a loss, and you lose Walker, sure, but they held it together. I mean, all of these things that that everybody was kind of predicting and saying didn't really happen.
Yeah. And so let me piggyback on that, because there's a narrative out there. There's a talking point from people who are invested. We talk about this a lot. Check who is a message coming from, or where is it coming from? Is that individual invested in Auburn not succeeding? And you heard some of that after Walker White made some comments about quarterback development and plan and this, that, or the other over the weekend. And Auburn lost its entire quarterback room from a season ago. And so some took that and turned it into well, clearly there's an issue with the offense if the quarterbacks don't feel like they're on the same page as the coaches. And I think that might hold a little water, Zach, if you had massive defections from the running back room. You haven't had those defections either. Massive defections from the offensive line, massive defections from the receiver corps. You don't really have that.
Yeah.
Which says to me that anybody who's unhappy with the offense, like the guys who are unhappy with the offense were a lot fewer than the guys who are happy with the direction the offense is going.
Yeah, and I guess there's a few different ways you could take that, but I do think communication amongst the quarterback room wasn't as good as it should have been. But also, in a vacuum, are any of these quarterback departures some major shock? I mean, I was surprised by Walker leaving. Yeah. The way they handled Hank Brown towards the end of the year, it's I think the writing was on the wall that they were kind of telling Hank, we're okay with you leaving. Peyton ran out of eligibility, and we've been talking about Holden Gurna transferring for 3 years. After he finished his first season. Yeah, right. It's how long is Holden going to be here? So, little surprised that you lost Walker and Hank, but okay, if you have one of them, how much does it change the quarterback room? And I know there's so many Auburn fans just loved Walker, and I hope they still do, because I think Walker's a great kid, but just knowing this fan base over the span of the first few weeks of the season, if Jackson Arnold does something, they're going to be talking about Deuce. They're going to be talking about Deuce Knight immediately.
Yeah.
And in this case, I think rightfully so, because I think Deuce Knight is very, very good. I think he's very, very talented, and he has one of the highest ceilings I've seen of a player come to Auburn in a hot minute. He's all of the attention and accolades thrown his way are well deserved. So it kind of it makes sense. Which one would you rather have?
Yeah.
It's I think everybody would rather have Deuce in this situation.
But you couldn't turn the offense over to a true freshman, and I don't think you could turn it over to Walker either. I don't think you could tell Walker going into the season, all right, the team is yours. Now that Hank's transferred and Holden's transferred and Peyton's out of eligibility, it's your team now. I don't think they could afford to do that going into year 3.
Right. No, I 100% agree. 100%
so if that was I don't know if that was the communication, or if that was the misunderstanding, or if he expected it to be his team, I just...
Or is it not what he thought, right? Did he think that he was going to be coached by Hugh Freeze more, and Hugh Freeze was more removed and not really kind of part of those meetings as much as he thought? And, that was a big thing with Walker when he came here. And a lot of these quarterbacks
That's fair.
Hugh Freeze was kind of heralded as this quarterback whisperer and, this guy that quarterbacks wanted to play for. And at previous stops, maybe Hugh Freeze interacted with quarterbacks more than he has so far at Auburn. And that wasn't it. That wasn't it. And that's something that we've heard elsewhere too about Hugh Freeze's involvement with the quarterback. So could it have been that? Could it have been path to playing time? Could it have been just he needs to start over somewhere else? Like, I think there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things. How many times have we said this? Whenever we talk about the portal, it goes back over a year now. Yeah. There's a million different reasons why kids enter the portal. I don't think Walker dislikes Auburn or anything like that. I think it's just what was best for him. We've listed 3 or 4 different reasons why that's the case. And Walker's smart. Yeah. He's a smart kid. He's aware. I don't think the timing was a coincidence. I don't think I'm not going to read too much into certain things, but I do think, I do think he's still here. Like if Auburn doesn't land Jackson Arnold, right? Like, I don't think it's a crazy thing to say, but Auburn did land Jackson Arnold. Yeah. And Jackson Arnold's probably going to be Auburn's starter for the next 2 years.
Absolutely. And will Walker start for Baylor in the fall? I don't know.
Not this fall. No way.
Know. Absolutely.
Unless there's an injury. No way. But when Baylor comes to Auburn in 2026, potentially, I bet he is the starter.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. All right. Can I tell you what looks so good? Yes. That guy right there. Zach looks so good. Look at the right part of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. He looks so sharp in that rowback hoodie. He looks sharp anytime, but that rowback hoodie, I mean, wow. You are looking stunning today. How can the people at home, Zach, get that very same hoodie and put it in their closet and take it out of their closet someday and put it on their body and look just as stunning as you?
I'm happy to tell you. It's super easy. Just go to rowback.com, RHOBACK.com, and you can check out all of their performance hoodies, all of their quarter zips. I gifted my dad a quarter zip for Christmas. He absolutely loved it. They also have a bunch of collared shirts. I mean, they have patterns and designs. I don't know if a number is high enough to fully explain how much they have, but check it out at rowback.com. And we do not want you to pay full price.
Please don't.
No.
Please don't.
Use promo code VICE20 for 20% off your order. All that is at rowback.com. Use promo code VICE20. I want to tell you something that was like probably the most majestic thing that I've seen in recent memory.
Okay.
I'm grabbing a workout this morning.
Oh gosh.
I've kind of got like the New Year's resolution a few days early. I'm like, let's go ahead and just get after this thing. One of my buddies invited me to work out. I'm like, yeah, let's get after it. Was
this before or after Chick-fil-A?
We can do that story later. All right. But I finish incline dumbbell press, and what do I see? I see the most majestic runner going at least 15 miles an hour on a treadmill. And I'm like, I've got to get a closer look at this. And it's Brad Law. It was you just getting after it. Mm-hmm. And you were so zoned in. I'm like, we made eye contact like 3 or 4 times as I'm walking closer to you. And you just kept looking away. Kept looking away. And I had to like get right in front of you to say, hey, it's me. It's me.
Here's kind of a secret that's not all that secretive. When I don't have my glasses on, I couldn't tell if my mother was standing in front of me. Okay.
Got it.
I don't recognize people when I'm so.
That makes sense. Got it.
I really see so poorly without those glasses that like even right now I'm struggling. Like I may look over here to talk to you during the show today.
Hey, over here, Brad. Over here.
Sorry. Right. Okay. Got it.
You're good now. Yep. Yeah. That's it. That's it. But you were so fast. You were so fast. I don't think people realize how fast Brad Law is.
All right.
Like there's Sean Shivers and Anthony Schwartz. And I think you're right there with them, man. I think you're right there with them.
Right there with them. Yeah. All right.
I think so.
Have your fun.
Next time you see Malcolm Simmons, you should challenge him to a race.
Challenge Malcolm Simmons to a race? Well, look, if you're going to be at the gym, why not give it your all? Like, why just get in there and halfway?
Wow. Put that on a T-shirt.
Aren't you there for a purpose?
Yeah, you are. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go 1-0 every day. Win the day.
So people are suing each other again.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing to do these days. Let's just sue everybody.
Well,
you got Pavia suing the NCAA. Now you've got players suing coaches.
Suing their coach. So Florida State, the report came out that Leonard Hamilton, the coach who's been there since 2001 or so, he's ageless. He looks like he's 50, but he's like 112. 6 of his players are suing him because they say he promised them $1.5 million collectively last year. Like they boycotted a practice because they weren't getting their money.
God, that's intense.
And now they're suing him. Now, I'm not best friends with Leonard Hamilton. I know him a little bit. I worked with Florida State basketball about 10 years ago for a few games. Spent a little time around him.
Okay.
And know some people that are close with Leonard Hamilton. This is not Leonard Hamilton doesn't need me to vouch for him. All right.
Got it.
I just think it's very interesting that is another example of where we are with college athletics. That's a sticky conversation. Did they have and it should be pretty easy. Is the coach responsible or is the collective responsible? And was it in writing or was it not in writing? Or was it told to a representative? Sorry, not an agent, but a representative.
Sure.
It's really sticky and really messy. But now we have our first. That's the first. Will we see other instances where guys don't get paid and they go after the coach?
Yeah, the going after the coach is interesting because they changed rules now where NIL can be part of your recruitment, which it should be. I think that makes sense. But the contract's not with the coach.
Right.
It's with the collective. It's not with Florida State. It's with whatever their collective is. It'd be like none of these players have a contract, a financial contract with Auburn. They have contracts with On to Victory or, whatever group and organization that they sign with. So you got to think it's in writing. Unless it's not in writing, and then it's like, what are y'all doing at Florida State? Like that'd be a bad move.
Well, and even when things are in writing, though, we're at such a point in college athletics. I know this happens that guys agree on. Let's say we have a new figure for the 25 year, and we've agreed to it. And I'm the student athlete, and I say, great, I've got my new deal for 2025. And 2 weeks later, I'm going to call up the collective again, perhaps on Christmas Eve, and say, the heck with you spending time with your family. I'm going to negotiate further. You're like, but you already agreed to a deal. Yeah. Right, but now I want another one. This is happening all of the time. So, man, how is this not? I'm going a little bit off the path with this, but I understand that people are working on it. How are the guardrails? How are the rules and regulations not the most critical by far thing in college athletics right now?
Yeah, the contract thing, it seems like it would fix everything. I think you should, whenever you sign out of high school, you sign a contract with the university. I think you should be able to sign it directly with the university, bring all collectives in-house. Let's quit kidding ourselves here.
Yeah.
And I think, with maybe your studs, you get them to do a 3-year deal. Maybe you throw more money at them that way. Maybe some of your guys that are like the 22nd to 25th guys in the class, maybe you give them a 1-year deal just to kind of see like a prove it type situation. And my guess is most people would have like a 2-year deal. And it's like, let's see where we're at the end of 2 years.
Yeah.
And I just think that would fix a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you leave it up to the kid. That's like, if you want to sign a 1-year deal somewhere, that's fine. That's fine. And kind of roll the dice and bet on yourself and all that. Like, I think you'd see a nice mix of it. And I think you'd see the occasional kid who's like, no, I really want to be here. I'm just going to sign for 4 years and, maybe take more money or whatever. Like, I think let the kids and the coaches or let the kids in these different administrations decide what kind of deals there are. And then, because like you're not really protecting anybody. Like the current setup that's supposed to be pro player. Well, what's happening at FSU is that's not pro player. with what happened with the quarterback at UNLV, like that's not pro player. But imagine if they had a contract directly to the university.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pro player.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way it should be. Because like if you're promised money and you're not getting it, like that's really crappy. That's a really crappy thing to do.
Well,
but also who's to know like if there wasn't just some misunderstanding and it's like, well, we didn't really promise you that.
Right. What's a promise? What's a promise? What's a guarantee? And then what is a legally binding guarantee?
Yep.
Right.
Right.
I mean, if I tell you, hey, Zach, man, you and I are going to meet and every single day we're going to meet at the gym and we're going to run 3 miles a day. That's what we're going to do. If you'll just agree to do it, that's what I'm telling you we're going to do. Well, that's words.
You'd be so fast, though.
I would be fast.
We went for a run. Gosh, you'd be so fast. You're already so fast.
All right. My point is that's just words.
Yeah.
So I bring a guy in on a visit and I go, or his representative says, hey, we're looking for 100K.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I think we'd probably do that. That's not binding.
No, it's not.
That's not anywhere close to legally binding. Right. Let's put it on paper. And let's give some accountability for the income as well. You're going to represent the school in certain ways. You got so many media, whatevers and so many autograph whatevers and so many whatever else.
Yeah, right.
And if you leave, there's a buyout, just like when the coach leaves. There's a buyout.
Interesting. That'd be insane.
It would be insane, but it's what, like, everybody, let me be careful here too. So I believe players, obviously it benefits them to get a piece of the financial pie, and they should. Okay. But the argument that you heard for beginning this process was, well, gosh, coaches are making all this money. Coaches can leave anytime they want. And yeah, they can even before a contract's up. They can leave or be fired.
Yep.
But there's money attached to it. There's a buyout attached to it.
Yeah.
Do the same thing with players. Sure. You can leave in the portal. Absolutely. You have total freedom. There's just a buyout. Attach some money to it. Right now, there's no accountability, no consequences. Or no, I guess, financial implication is better than consequence. So
sure. Got it.
Oh, well, that's my rant. I'll step down from now. See, I'll stop ranting about bowl games and started ranting about other stuff.
Why are you so dressed up today?
We have basketball tonight.
Do you always wear a jacket for basketball?
I like dressing up for basketball. I do not like this dressing down thing that's becoming rampant across college athletics. I think
across everywhere. Across like everything.
Well, that's true. That's true too. But like basketball games, you ought to dress up a little more. I like it. It's a special event. By the way,
will you dress up for baseball?
I mean, I don't wear shorts, but no, Major League Baseball broadcasters are in polos. So,
got it.
So that's what I'll be in, unless it's an absurd.
Will you put a tie on, or are you rolling with that?
No, I'll roll with this.
Okay, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
Like truly great.
Thanks,
truly
Zach.
Fantastic.
I appreciate that.
No notes. Are you excited for the basketball game tonight?
Yeah, man, I'm thrilled for
showdown versus Monmouth.
Yeah, the Hawks. The Hawks. They won their home opener last time out. They have a top 10 scorer. He's a 6'7" guard who averages about 22 points a game.
Audition. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's about all they got.
That's about it.
They're not a good team. They're like 2-10.
Yeah, 2-10. They've played a tough schedule, hadn't come close. I mean, they beat Seton Hall at Seton Hall, and that's the calling card so far. So I don't know. How much do we see Janai tonight? Do you make sure that he's 100% healthy?
I bet he plays 21 minutes. Is my guess.
Okay. I'm going to take the under on that.
I hope the under on that hits. Yeah. I don't think it will.
I'll take the under. Do we see more Jaheim Hudson? Do we see more JP Pegues? I think you have the chance.
If we don't see JP Pegues, I think that'll be very telling.
Yeah, I agree. I do expect to see more of him tonight. All right, plus minus on Pegues minutes, 8.5.
Minus.
Okay.
But I hope it's plus. But my gut is minus.
Yeah.
Because there's been plenty of times where they could have played him and there'd be like no downside, and they haven't.
Yeah. True. No, you're right. A lot of 30-point games, and he's still not in there. That's fair.
They don't seem to want to put him in.
Yeah. And if you're going to play Tahad more at the 1 anyway, he is a true freshman. Like it's not like he's got everything mastered to this point.
But even Denver, like,
yeah, true.
I mean, it's not like Denver played a bunch of point, up to this point. So I don't know. I think you need to give those guys reps too. So
there you are.
Hey, I'm over here.
Yeah, there you are. I see you now.
Hey.
So the coaches poll came out today, and Tennessee was still number 1. I'm not going to be overly salty about this. Auburn plays Tennessee on January 25th. It's going to be an insane game, and I think
where is that game?
That's at Neville Arena. And I think like game day should be there and all of that.
How much is that ticket going to cost?
It's going to be a fortune. Yeah, I think that's the Outlive game too. Like I think it's
that's incredible.
All of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
And Tennessee is elite. And I understand that. I hate having to throw all these dang caveats out there, but how in the world these coaches and media people continue to put Tennessee at number 1 and Auburn at number 2? It just doesn't make any logical sense to me. Tennessee is 3-0 in quad 1 games, and they're undefeated. So 3-0 in quad 1. They have not played a quad 2 game. 9 games are quad 3 and quad 4. 5 of their 12 games are against quad 4 teams. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything for me. I'm sorry. Not when Auburn's sitting there with 6 quad 1 wins.
The get-in price is $220
a month away from the game.
And then there's 2 tickets that are $222 each. And then it jumps to $401 each.
A month away.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. It's going to be a great time. Again, no disparage. Look, I'm just more talking about their schedule and voters, no disparage to Tennessee. It's going to be a phenomenal game. They're an elite team. Just think Auburn's resume is better for number 1. That's all.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah,
I agree with you. So, all right. That do it for today's show?
I think it does, Zach. Check everything out at thebarnauburn.com. Follow, join in on the messages on the message board.
New deal for thebarnauburn.com. $75 for the entire year.
Ooh. The whole year?
The whole year.
That's not a month or 3 months, or I get all 12 months for $75?
Yeah, it's like $25, $30 off of normal price.
Wow.
So check that out, thebarnauburn.com. Go ahead. If your New Year's resolution is to be more plugged in with Auburn.
Yeah. There you go.
Thebarnauburn.com.
Thanks, everybody, for watching, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below. We appreciate it. And remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.